Greetings, people of Earth and beyond. This is Reed Richards talking to Galactus
This
in
is Johnny Storm talking to Doctor
dying.
Doom.
No, talking to what's his face's sister,
Damn.
Professor X's sister, Charles Xavier. His death is bad. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. I'm Brad.
I'm gonna go.
Been a little bit since we were here tonight. Lots of things to talk about on the show. Big week for Marvel Studios. Both at San Diego Comic-Con, SDCC at their Hall H panel, which ironically is big in terms of what it means for the universe, but it's not the biggest Hall H panel that we've seen from Marvel Studios. It's really not. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of like new stuff showcased. It was kind of things we already knew were coming, but there was one very big thing. It reminds
They
with
put butts in
our
seats. That's the point.
it did. And then also D23, their panel, which was Friday night, and the Disney Parks panel, which kind of ties into the Marvel thing, kind of ties into the movie thing. And also, I'm just a big Disney Parks fan in general. So lots to talk about on tonight's show. There's been a whole lot of discussion about the MCU as a whole and about where it's headed. Many of the projects, there's so many. I don't remember having this many questions about the universe as I in the Infinity Saga, like at this point, as I did. We knew kind of the direction where it was going, and it was the build up and the hype. I still feel like the multiverse saga is just now starting to like gain its footing. You know what I mean? It's odd. And I know they've had the whole thing with Jonathan Majors and Kang, and they've had to kind of do a switcheroo with that. And like, I know it hasn't been smooth sailing, but I mean, and I don't think it's just us that thinks that because, or just me that thinks that, excuse me, because like, I mean, if you've seen Deadpool and Wolverine, they flat out made fun of it,
Mhm.
So I don't know, but
No, I agree with that
lots of
sentiment.
big
I think
reveals.
if you guys ever got to see Deadpool and Wolverine, it's honestly no further from the truth that Marvel didn't have anything they had no idea what they were doing. And I think with what Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman did, I mean, they pretty much I gave them what's the word I could say lit a fire under a lot of Marvel fans. Trying to bring
Yeah,
them back into the fold
yeah,
and possibly try to right some wrongs that were there,
right.
which obviously they did. But I think now with D23, it's safe to say that like I think Kevin Feige is on at least on some path, I suppose,
Yes,
with Disney.
with over the last week, I've felt like okay, we have a direction. Like we're moving somewhere that makes sense, and I haven't felt that. There have been moments where, this is another thing. I know we haven't technically filmed a review for Deadpool and Wolverine, or for Longlegs, or for Twister. We will shoot reviews for those. It's just been a crazy few weeks, and we haven't had a chance to. But we love Deadpool and Wolverine. By the way, I've seen it twice. I took my wife to see it last Thursday just because we had the time, and she loved it. Like it was fantastic. I also love that Deadpool has slowly taken over like the Disney parks and the Disney merchandise and the Disney accounts, and like
Has
like
it really?
Deadpool has been on everything. I mean, he showed up at the Disney Parks panel last night at D23,
That's so
um,
funny.
kind of making fun of the fact that the Yeti doesn't work on Expedition Everest and that they're getting rid of Dinosaur and Animal Kingdom. Like he showed up and made those kinds of jokes. Like I love that they're using that character in a very true spirited way to what Deadpool is, and
Yeah,
it's something he's a vessel to make fun of yourself, you know what I mean, and to just kind of
he's a
let loose. And
walking spoof, I would
he
say.
really is, and it's okay, and it works. Like
Hmm.
he's such a unique character. God, I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I
So
think
great.
it's funny that like he used to just invade the comic
Right.
strips, but now
Yeah.
he's delved into more
Right.
media stuff, and
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. I think if I were to say with social media coming together, I would have been foolish to think that Deadpool wouldn't have had his fun on social media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
So
Yeah. So yeah, we'll shoot reviews. We'll dive more into Deadpool and Wolverine and Twisters and to Longlegs. But the purpose of tonight's show, as we said, was to dive into mainly the Marvel Studios stuff from SDCC and D23 over the last week. But again, we're also going to look at the Disney Parks panel because A, it's dope, and B, there's some cool Marvel tie-ins there, and it fits the movie thing. So, by the way, leave this one a like if you haven't already. Just a good reminder to do that. So let's do this. Let's start off with the Disney Parks panel, just because we're just going to hop right into this thing because there's a lot of
see those places.
There's a lot of new information. So the Disney Parks panel was last night. They do it's on the West Coast, so they do these things like it feels like so late. I was like on Twitter at midnight last night, like watching the stuff be revealed, like in real time, and it was pretty cool. So the highlights from the Disney Parks panel. Let's start out with some Marvel stuff, just since we're kind of talking Marvel. Unfortunately, my brother-in-law explained this to me. So my family and I went to Walt Disney World over the summer. I'm a huge Disney adult, unashamedly. I'm even using the cup right now, unashamed.
That cup probably costs like $60 at that.
It's $21.
Still a lot of money.
It is, but it's refillable at the resorts, so whatever. Anyways,
I think that works.
So my brother-in-law explained this to me. There is something legally between Disney and Universal that Universal still owns the theme park rights to some of the Marvel characters. Like, for example, Universal Studios in Orlando, 20 minutes away from Disney World, has they have a Spider-Man ride. They have a Hulk ride. They have other Marvel things in there. So all of the Marvel stuff is either overseas or it's at Disneyland or California Adventure. So that's why we're not seeing a whole lot of the Marvel stuff at Disney World. They have the Guardians of the Galaxy ride.
Legality stuff.
Right, yeah. They have the Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Epcot, which is... Listen, I'm not a roller coaster person. Miguel can tell you this. I've been to Kings Island with him. Like, I am not a big roller coaster person. I'm just not. That Guardians of the Galaxy ride is it's maybe in the top 10 best attractions I've ever been on in my life. It is absolutely amazing. It doesn't feel like it's a hardcore roller coaster. It doesn't feel like you're on a roller coaster. Partially because it's in the dark.
I look up the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster and it's just ups and downs. I'm going to be kind of upset.
It's pretty wild. Now, here's the thing. There's no loops on it, but it's in the dark. It's like a camera all around you to simulate you being in space. And the ride vehicle, you're not just going like one direction the entire time. The ride vehicle spins 360 as you're on the roller coaster. So you can be if it wants you to face something. Like at one point you're traveling around the moon next to the Earth, and like you're traveling sideways around the thing. It's pretty dope. It's insane. It's awesome. But so that's the reason a lot of the Marvel things we're seeing with these reveals are at Disneyland and not at Walt Disney World in Orlando. But the Avengers campus has quite a few pretty cool rides. So the Shanghai Disneyland is getting a Spider-Man coaster. Finds Peter Parker in a bit of a tight spot, joining him on a high-speed journey to get out of trouble. I'm not going to Shanghai anytime soon, so I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's a really cool Disney park, but I will not be there. But I'm sure it's
Shanghai. Please let us know how it goes.
I mean, I'm sure it's a dope coaster. It looks like it'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
It looks like we have some of the drones in there from Far From Home. I mean, it looks like it'll be a good time. Hong Kong Disneyland is also getting a Spider-Man attraction. When Tony Stark invites his friend Peter Parker to showcase some of his inventions, this catches the attention of one of Spidey's most formidable villains. As guests try to help Spider-Man protect the new tech, they might get caught in the middle of the action. So this is this looks like a Doc Ock thing going on here.
I'm interested who they're going to cast. I mean, would it still be Milano?
I don't know. And I wonder how... Oh, this looks like a Tower of Terror kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, like you're dropping.
Oh, look how excited that lady is right there.
What?
I love concept art fans. She
her
says,
face,
ah.
her body says "woo," but her body's like her face goes. Are
It's
you
like the
going to
stage
Hong
crew
Kong
telling
anytime soon?
people. Yeah, it's like the late night of stage crew telling people to clap or
Yeah.
like to cheer or to laugh.
Like
Yay!
whoever created that concept art, it's like, dude, make them look excited.
Well, I mean, the fans are not supposed to. The fans, they don't care about the fans. They just want Spider-Man and anyone else to look good.
At California Adventure and at Disneyland, this is where the Avengers campus is, and this is on our side of the pond. Avengers Campus is getting a whole lot bigger. They've announced that the campus will soon double in size, expanding with 2 brand new attractions. Construction will begin in 2025. The first one is Avengers Infinity Defense, which is a multi-world adventure experience where recruits will chase down King Thanos after he steals technology that allows the Avengers to jump between worlds. Guests will travel to iconic locations like Asgard, Wakanda, and New York City. They might even cross paths with some familiar faces. The entrance to that attraction looks pretty sick.
Yeah, it does look pretty baller.
Looks pretty dope. We've got some Ant-Man action. Iron Man's in there. I don't know what the ride vehicle for this will be. The new thing that it seems like Disney is doing right now is trackless rides, which is kind of hard to explain.
Track rides?
Trackless rides. I was unfamiliar until we went this last time. So basically, it's almost like you're in a car. Like there's the floor and there's these tiny. It almost looks like when something is soldered, how it kind of gets that like dark gray look to it. I mean, it's like a flat floor, but somehow the ride vehicle kind of does that. Rise of the Resistance in Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars Land in Hollywood Studios was like that. There's another Mickey and Minnie ride that was amazing in Hollywood Studios that was trackless. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a trackless thing where things are happening around you and you're just kind of freely moving in the ride vehicle. But I don't know. But I mean, Hulk looks pretty dope right there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
Professor
what.
Hulk, see that?
Is it Professor Hulk though? Because that looks like
Why else would he be
regular
wearing a
Hulk.
t-shirt?
What?
Why else would he be wearing a t-shirt?
Oh, that's fair. I don't know. Still looks pretty dope.
Yeah.
Either way. And then there is the reveal of King Thanos. He has a white beard, which is interesting because Thanos didn't have a beard.
Oh yeah, King Thanos. I mean, he had a white beard in the comics, like
Did he?
later on.
Yeah, I guess you're right. He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Tony Stark, this is the second attraction, which looks amazing. Tony Stark will also welcome recruits to the newly announced Stark Flight Lab, where you can feel like a superhero yourself. Guests will sit in 2-person pods and deploy to a test station where a robot arm will grab each pod and whirl it around in simulated flight.
Oh,
So you'll be flying around like Iron Man, as Matt Damon says in The Martian. When he pops the thing in his hand, he's like, so I'm going to be flying around out here like Iron Man. Essentially, this is kind of what you're going to be doing in this attraction, which looks pretty cool. I don't know if it's a roller coaster type thing or if this is like... It doesn't look like a traditional roller coaster.
It looks like how can I say this? It looks like those to go like rides that can like in like Lexington fairs or like county fairs, stuff like that. Just like small little rides that I think they're just beefing up to make it look.
If this whole thing right here is actually a track where you're flying through the air but you're also moving like distance, that would be cool. But if it's just kind of like
here, you'll see if you look on the far right corner, you'll see more of the seats.
Right.
So it looks like it goes around.
Yeah, which would lead me to believe that you're actually like going through. What would be really cool is if it's taking you through the screen. Like if like when you're moving through the ride, you're moving through a screen, so it's like you're going through New York City or Wakanda, or you know what I mean. That'd be pretty neat.
I don't know. It sounds way above my cash market.
But so so those are some of the new Marvel specific rides coming to Disney parks around the globe. And again, unfortunately, there's nothing new Marvel-wise coming to Disney World, but this does kind of fit in with the movie thing. And also, I just find it really cool because I'm a Disney nerd. So, big changes coming to Walt Disney World. One of the biggest announcements from the Disney Parks panel was that, so Magic Kingdom, if you don't know, the original Disney World park, which is essentially just a larger version of Disneyland from California, is split up into different lands. So when you enter, you walk through Main Street, USA, to Cinderella's Castle, which is kind of the hub, and then you can go left towards Adventureland, where Pirates of the Caribbean and Aladdin and Jungle Cruise and those things are. Frontierland, Liberty Square, which is where the Hall of Presidents is.
That
the
movie
Haunted
that
Mansion.
is Jungle Cruise, that movie that like Emily Blunt and like
Yes, Dwayne was in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is that based off
it was
the ride?
Yeah, it was based off of that ride. Yeah, kind of in the same way as the Haunted Mansion was based off of the ride. Like they just adapted the ride basically into a movie. So you've got Tomorrowland, you've got Fantasyland, all of these things. This is kind of a big deal. They're adding a land to Magic Kingdom, an entire section of the park, which is Villains Land. Also, I've also seen the subtitle Once Upon a Nightmare. That's the official logo, which is pretty dope. The concept art for this looks sick. I mean,
this looks like a
okay,
Halloween-esque kind of thing.
It does. Now, I will say, I mean, obviously they're doing this
hard
to
to do
compete
that in
with
the summer.
Well, that's true. That's the only thing is like, how is that going to work in the daytime? Because like, yeah, at nighttime it's going to be dope, or like if it's rainy or if it's cloudy, it's going to be sick. But like a bright, sunny Florida day doesn't scream villain. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you over here saying like Florida doesn't get like its occasional clouds and rain, so I'm sure it looked dope no matter what.
Right. They'll have to really, which judging by that concept art, I mean, it looks like it's going to be really dark and
eerie.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
There's obviously,
is this going to be like Disney like villains, like everything Disney villains, like not only like Marvel but like princesses, which I can see right now.
Oh yeah. Like if you look in the back of their where the dragon is in the back left hand corner, and it looks like there's a track. There's people that have speculated that that's a Maleficent roller coaster. I think
I'm sure this will be Maleficent like heavy.
Oh yeah, it'll be very Maleficent heavy. I think they're on the right hand side. That looks like Pride Rock from The Lion King. So I would assume Scar will kind of have a play in this. I mean, they've said that this will be complete with 2 major attractions. One, I assume, will be the Maleficent coaster, and then who knows what the other one will be. And also dining and shopping as well. So, I mean, it'll be a very interactive, like, atmospheric part of the park that's going to be very different. Because you've got, it's like the anti-Fantasyland, because Fantasyland is kind of bubbly, like Peter Pan is there. It's a Small World is there. Like, those kind of fun, family-esque things. This is, like, the polar opposite of that. So, pretty dope.
The era of villains has been like really up in the forefront. So like, I'm sure everybody's going to be anybody who's like within our generation is a fan of villain land.
And I know, ironically, it's coming at the same time that Universal is working on the Epic Universe, where they're doing the Universal Monster stuff. They're doing the darker Harry Potter stuff there. Like, they're putting the Ministry of Magic in there. So Universal's opening their 3rd park, so I'm sure they saw that Universal was doing the dark thing, and they were like, yeah, we got to do something to compete with that, even though Disney is far bigger than Universal, you know. Although, I don't know, if Universal adds a 4th park, they've got this, well, it depends on if you count. Technically, Disney's got 6 parks there because they've got the 2 water
Universal
parks.
has like what?
2. This will be Epic Universe will be the 3rd. There's Universal Studios. There's Islands of Adventure, and then this is going to be Epic Universe, and it's going to have quite a few different things there. So I believe there might be a Game of Thrones thing in Epic Universe too. I'm not sure.
Universal,
maybe.
Anything?
Let's see. I don't know. Epic Universe.
That's a Warner Bros. Thing.
Attractions. Maybe it's not. I might. Let's see. Epic Universe rides. So there will be. Let's see. There'll be a couple of just like a racing roller coaster where 2 coasters are racing each other. There's going to be the Dark Universe, which is the Curse of the Werewolf, which is basically the werewolf, and then there's Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment, which is a dark ride that's supposed to be pretty scary. There's the Isle of Berk, which is Hiccup's Wing Gliders, Fire Drill, and Dragon Racer. I don't know what that is. What's Isle of Berk?
I think that's from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Then there's the Ministry of Magic, which that ride will be the Battle of the Ministry of Magic. There's Super Nintendo World that they're putting in Bowser's Challenge.
You're talking about like whenever the Ministry of Magic gets destroyed in Harry Potter?
I think I read
that's pretty dope, because I remember how eerie it was.
Yeah. From what I understand, this will be a dark ride where you're inside of the Ministry of Magic as Umbridge is on trial, and I think Death Eaters are like attacking inside of the Ministry.
Okay.
So like it's going to be like hardcore wizard battle during the ride, which would be, it sounds pretty sick.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a really cool concept for a ride. So somebody's calling me. I don't know who this is. Do you want to be on the show? So they're obviously trying to compete with Epic Universe to some degree, which is fine. They have to, you know what I mean?
If I'm being honest, it did sound like some good rides too.
It did sound like some good rides, yeah. Real quick, by the way, Joseph Ricci's here. What's up, buddy? And then Austin, SBC Unleashed. Hey, boys, long time no see. It's been a little bit since we've been on here. We've been doing streams a little bit less frequently, which is okay. We're busy. We're busy people. We have to keep the relationship alive.
Yeah, we have to pay bills too, so.
Yeah, we do have to pay bills. That's important. Anyway, so that's kind of the big Magic Kingdom thing, is villains are coming to Magic Kingdom in a brand new land. They haven't added a land, they've added attractions, they've removed attractions, they've added parts onto existing lands, but they haven't actually added a separate land onto Magic Kingdom in quite a while. So that'll be pretty neat to see. Cool. You know what else you would dig? Too. The Tron ride. I'm not a Tron person. Like,
I like the idea.
I just like, but that ride is pretty cool. So, another big one, Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. Land is coming to Hollywood Studios, with the first ever suspended coaster in a Disney park. Now, what do we mean by that? This roller coaster will be like you're riding on a door, essentially. Mm-hmm. So the way, if you remember in Monsters Inc., the way that the claw comes down and picks up the door and then like takes it away through the factory, essentially Billy Crystal came out on stage at D23 when they announced all this, like, really cool
that's
stuff.
So cool.
Yeah. And they said that like they had said that I think John Goodman and Billy Crystal are both going to reprise their roles like for that land, to do like the audio and things like that, which is pretty neat. But this is a suspended.
Billy Crystal's underrated, as well as John Goodman.
Yeah, 100%. Billy Crystal rules. As does John Goodman, but I do really like Billy Crystal a lot. So this is the first ever suspended coaster at a Disney park. You will be just like hanging from the roller coaster as you move through the Monsters Inc. factory, which is pretty sick. This is the external part in Monsters Inc. land, so you can actually kind of see the facade of the city and things like that. I'm sure there'll be shops and things like that as you walk around. Like, pretty amazing. And then here's another shot. The girl in the front with the ice cream, I want whatever ice cream that is, because that looks like 9 scoops of ice cream stacked on top of each other, and it looks great.
Bro, no, in Florida heat, I couldn't fucking stand that.
It'll be melted. It'll be melted in like 6 seconds.
Yeah. Can we talk about the monster that is being carried by a baby?
I know.
Cat?
I just looked at that. I've looked at this image like 5 or 6 times, and I just now realized that it's a dude wearing a monster.
Yeah. The don't stop sign.
That's
blood
funny.
Oranges.
Yeah.
Manic fruit for $2.99.
It'll be a cool little land. Like, I'm interested to see what shops and if there's gonna be a restaurant or whatever. Like what little.
There, dude. That's
yeah.
I'm gonna love the CEA stuff. Like, can you imagine going to sock on one of the monsters that's there? And it's 2319.
It's funny though, because like I'm sure. I wonder if they'll actually do stuff like that and interact with you, because the stormtroopers in Galaxy's Edge, like, they actually like shit talk you and things like that. Like, they actually kind of go, like, if you bump into them, or like they actually like kind of go off on you, and it's really funny. But so I'll be excited to see that. What's up, Gory? What up,
Hey,
man?
bud.
So yeah, that'll be a cool one. I'm definitely intrigued to see where they put that, because Hollywood Studios is kind of full. They've changed that park a lot from when I was a kid. They used to
Does this
have the
place have
back
its own
lot.
zip code? I think I remember.
Disney
It
has its own
should,
zip code,
right?
yes.
It
Huh?
does. Yeah.
The
Because I
Disney
remember
World
there was like some like
property.
big like lawsuit or whatever, something along the lines of like taxes or whatever. That
Well,
big.
here's the thing. When Walt bought the land, he bought it for super cheap because it was just swampland in the middle of Central
Hmm.
Florida. I mean, it had to have its own zip code. It had to have like the Reedy Creek district. Like it had to have its own water and sewage, and it's its own thing. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
separate from Lake Buena Vista or Orlando. It's its own thing. I mean, the Disney property is twice the size of New York City. Like, I mean, it's wild, man. Like, it's pretty nuts.
Hmm.
But the thing is, I don't know how much space Hollywood Studios has to expand. So I don't know if they're gonna remove something to add this. They just removed the backlot stuff in it. Well, I say just removed; it's been there for a while. But they've added Toy Story Land, which is pretty cool. It's like you're in Andy's backyard and you're the size of the toy, and everything else is big. Um, and they've
But
added Galaxy's Edge, which is the Star Wars thing. So like, I don't know how much space they have, and that looks like a lot of space. I mean, obviously the stuff behind the factory, that'll be facade. They're not actually going to have all of that
maybe
stuff there.
backdrops, yeah.
But
I
yeah, it'll
think the
just be a
main
backdrop.
premise is
But
like the factory, and then on the right we'll have like all like the special stuff or
right,
whatever.
you'll have the shops and all that stuff, because what you actually see of the factory, like, that's the ride inside.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's going to be the
Hmm.
waiting queue and the actual the loading station where you get onto the the factory roller coaster. But
Hmm.
that'll be a fun one. I'm excited. Cars. This is a new area coming to Frontierland in Magic Kingdom. Um, they were very specific in saying, though, that this is not Radiator Springs, that it fits in Frontierland with Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which will forever be Splash Mountain. I'm just saying, but I digress. That this is its own separate thing where you're basically traveling out west. There's going to be two attractions. There's one more adult centered one where you're actually kind of, it's more of, I think, a faster racing attraction, and then there's going to be more of a kid friendly one as well. But it's different than, see, I believe at Disneyland they actually have like the Radiator Springs town from Cars, and I think this is different. This is going to be a separate
This is at
kind of
Hollywood.
thing.
This is at Universal, correct?
No, this is all Disney.
Okay.
This is all Disney, but this is going to be at um this is going to be at Magic Kingdom. So this is in an existing land where they're adding the villains thing as as a
Hmm.
different part of Magic Kingdom. This is in Frontierland, which is already an existing place. So but that's cool. I mean, I think they described it like, you'll be splashed and it'll be like you're actually driving the car through there, which is pretty cool. I've never been a big Cars fan. Out of all the Disney stuff, Cars was just never like,
I like it.
it
I
was
like it
never
for what
my
it is.
favorite. It's fine. It's good. But
Yeah, I'm a
I
car
was never
guy.
wild
I
about
enjoy
it.
cars.
It was fun. What I am excited about, some new lounges. Two new lounges slash restaurants slash bars slash whatever you want to call them will
Yeah,
be
because we're adults.
in Epcot Magic Kingdom. The Spaceship Earth Lounge, which will be outside of Spaceship Earth, I assume, which is the big geodesic sphere at the front of Epcot. That'll be kind of cool. Looks like there's a bar area. Looks like it'll just be kind of a cool, go sit in air conditioning for 20 minutes little spot, which is pretty
$100 to
cool.
get some air conditioning.
The one that I'm most excited about, though, which is going to be so freaking sick, Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite OG Disney ride. I love,
Hmm.
ever since I was a kid, I
Hmm.
love Pirates of the Caribbean. I got to take my 1.5-year-old on Pirates of the Caribbean, and there's a drop at the beginning of it in the dark, and everybody screams, and you get splashed, and I was like, I hope he's gonna be okay with this. And at the beginning of the ride, like, there's skeletons and like dead things, and there's a storm. Like, Pirates is kind of, a lot of kids get scared on at the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean. He loved it. He did fine. But in addition to the ride, they're putting a Tortuga Tavern. they're putting a Pirates of the Caribbean tavern outside of the ride. I'm so excited to eat there and get a drink there and just chill out there. Like, that is going to be sick. I'm pretty hyped.
So there's going to be one big old table, though, at Tortuga?
I assume this, I mean, obviously it's concept art, so they're just kind of going for the vibe. I mean, I would assume there will be more seating than this. But
that's what I said. It's pretty limited seating.
Yeah, that'd be very limited seating if that's how it is. But I think that'd be pretty cool. I like the one of my favorite elements of this is the anchor that's holding the candles on top of the ceiling. That'll be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Big changes are coming to Animal Kingdom. So if you're familiar with Animal Kingdom, they had the Bugs Life show, which is called A Tough to Be a Bug, inside of the Tree of Life. That is now changing because we have to update things with the time, even though Bugs Life is better than Zootopia, but I'm just saying. We have the Zootopia show, which is coming to Animal Kingdom.
I'm saying there hasn't been a Bugs Life like sequel in a hot minute, so
yeah, I know. There's never been a Bugs Life sequel. Yeah. There was only ever the original one, and it was from like the 90s. Let's see, what year did Bugs Life come out?
Pretty sure there's Bugs Life 2, right?
No,
it wasn't like a well-known thing. It's probably like the Lion King 2 or some bullshit like that.
It's actually not too late. 1998. I don't think 1998.
That is 100% like a year after some people on this channel have been bored.
Yeah, they were Bugs Life 2 never happened because they were going to do a sequel and Toy Story was too popular. So they went with a Toy Story sequel instead. They outdid themselves.
They outdid themselves. That's fucking hilarious.
So
that doesn't surprise me.
It's Tough to Be a Bug is becoming the Zootopia show. Dino Land USA, which I have mixed feelings about this. I loved Dino Land as a kid. That was one of the sections of Animal Kingdom. It was really, really cool. But it will officially transition to Pueblo Esperanza. What does that mean?
That's the name of somebody, dude. House
but what
Esperanza.
What is Esperanza just a name, or does it actually have a meaning?
I mean, all of them are gonna have a name. I mean, they're all gonna. Let me see, because obviously I don't fucking know.
Essentially, they're transitioning Dino Land USA to a tropical Americas.
That's what it means.
Huh?
Hope.
Okay,
yeah, you might as well call me Michael because obviously my fucking Spanish is bad.
Anyway, so they're transitioning Dino Land USA to a tropical Americas theme for that section of Animal Kingdom called Pueblo Esperanza. It'll have a new carousel attraction. Well, the interesting thing, so it's going to have the first ever Encanto ride. So I believe that is going to be a boat ride with the actual house from Encanto. You'll be able to walk around it and things like that. It'll be a boat ride similar to how they've done Frozen or something like that. But I am blown away that Disney makes so much money off of Indiana Jones. I wouldn't think that Indiana Jones is that popular of a property or of an IP as it is, but Disney is really, really banking a lot. Not even just at the theme parks, like continuing the movies and the video game and the merch. Like, they really put a lot of stock into Indiana Jones.
I don't think you realize Indiana Jones is popping, dude.
Is it still, though? Like, with new audiences?
It's fucking Indiana Jones. What do you expect, dude? Yeah, of course it's popping.
Well, so
any like casual like viewer that's like getting introduced to Indiana Jones isn't gonna like the movie itself. Like, yeah, they're gonna love it.
I get it. So this new Indiana Jones ride is replacing Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom, which when I went this last time, my wife and I went back to I had to go back to Animal Kingdom on our last day to ride Dinosaur one last time because that ride it's almost 25 years old. So like it needs to be renovated. I know it does, but
you can obviously tell Brad has more emotional connection to this world than I do.
I do. But yeah, Dinosaur was a cool ride. It's really jerky. Like, you probably need to take like 3 or 4 ibuprofen after you get off of it because your back will be in pain. But it's a cool ride, and it's sad because a lot of the dinosaurs weren't working anymore. Like like as soon as we got off, I was like, when we got off, I was like, it needs to be updated. They need to do something else. And that something else is going to be this Indiana Jones ride. So essentially the ride will take place in this temple. And your ride, I did read it'll be the same ride vehicle as Dinosaur. So essentially it's the same track and the same ride, but the theme will be different. And I assume they'll make it less, like you're getting thrashed around by a shark inside of the thing. But it looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm sure it'll be that action adventure, fire, brimstone, things exploding and falling, and it'll be a typical Indiana Jones thing, But the exterior looks pretty cool. I can see how that's the same structure as the dinosaur building. Like I can see that.
Yeah, I'm looking at the reimagining, like what's it called? Before I get the fucking blog Disney newsletter, fuck out of here. With the aerial view of Dino Land to look like it.
Yeah, I mean, let me pull this up. Here, let me just. This will be a little bit easier.
So when is the last of Dino Land?
Well, so here's the thing. So they said, yeah, there's the exterior. So this is the exterior of Dinosaur right there. And then this is the reimagined exterior. So like I can see how they're going to transition that into that. Like I get it. They said that essentially they're going to phase it out. They're going to phase out Dinosaur in stages, or Dino Land in stages. So like essentially I think they're going to give people as long as they can with Dinosaur before it's officially gone. So I assume they'll do the rest of it, and then when they literally have to start tearing down Dinosaur to build the Indiana Jones attraction, that's when it'll close. But
well, that's a shame.
I'm glad I went and rode it for the final time. Test track at Epcot. I feel like every time I've been to Disney the last 4 or 5 times, this has been closed. This ride's been closed. I don't know if I ever remember riding it, but I know it's a popular one. Presented by Chevy, it'll be reimagined again as this one. You're in a car and you're traveling like 65 miles an hour through the ride. It's a typical thing. So that's mainly all of the Disney park stuff. Quite a few cool Marvel things. If you want to go to Hong Kong or Shanghai or Disneyland Paris, like go for it, because looks like there's some cool Marvel stuff there. But not too much new Marvel. Really, no new Marvel stuff for Disney World. But some pretty cool movie-related things. The Monsters, Inc. thing is going to be pretty dope. The Villains thing is sick beyond belief. Like, those two, I'm, like, blown away. I think that's going to be awesome. So, and the Tropical Americas thing, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. It won't be Dinosaur, but it'll be okay.
I'll be sad to see it, because I'm not going to lie, Dinosaur has been, like, one of those films that's, like, it's niche, at least for me.
Do you remember Dinosaur, like the movie?
Vaguely, I would say. It's a vague memory for mine.
Let's see. Yeah. Here, hang on. Here we go. And boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The CGI is
I'm sure the CGI is lacking in this. I mean, it came out in 2000. Like, there's no way. Honestly, I wouldn't mind giving that a rewatch at some point. just to see. You know what I mean? We don't even have to watch it on the show, but I would just be intrigued to see how it looks these days. So that kind of wraps up the Disney parks thing. I did want to get your opinion on something, though, because I've kind of been worried about this. Not worried about it. Take that with a grain of salt. I've been intrigued by how they were going to pull this off specifically, and I want to get your thoughts. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I was convinced they were going to make him look like a horror movie.
Well, that's
Like,
because I think they were. I don't think you remember there were talks of like a previous Stitch rendering, and it was bad as Sonic, dude.
it's terrible. Yeah. Like, it
Yeah,
looked freaky. Like, he
if
actually kind of looked scary,
like
you
this one
know?
right here. You like
No,
this? You like this rendering?
this is the official like live action rendering of him. I mean, it's essentially the same design. Like,
I
but
know, and
and
I'm
keep
glad
in
they went
mind,
for it.
this is also the dog stitch design. Um this is not the antenna, 4 arms, actual alien look, or 6 arms, whatever you want to call it.
Hmm.
Look, but I don't know. I saw it and I was like, I want to
I
get
don't know if
Miguel's
it was
thoughts on it because
probably
it looks okay. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, all right, it looks all right.
like this one.
Yes, I think this one
I
looks
like
decent.
it.
Like, if
I
this
like
is the
it.
official live action design, which it's in all the marketing that they've put out since D23, so you know, I'm
It's
I'm
very
I'm here
very
for it.
close.
I'm here for it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Colton, what's up, buddy? Sup, guys? Excited to see a Daredevil Born Again teaser. We're gonna get there in just a second. We're gonna talk about that, which moves us into Marvel and the SDCC stuff. Well, SDCC and D23. So last week, Marvel's had a big week. Last week they were at SDCC, San Diego Comic-Con, their Hall H panel, which, as we said, was in quantity not quite as big as some of their previous Hall H panels, but in quality or in size in terms of like what it means for the universe, it was fairly big. So straight from the let's just straight from the horse's mouth. Let's just do this thing. From Marvel.com, all of the SDCC news that was dropped from Marvel Studios Hall H panel. We're going to get to our boy RDJ in just a minute. So they had a Deadpool and Wolverine musical moment. The Deadpool and Wolverine choir took the stage in red and yellow robes.
I love that.
To celebrate the film's release in theaters, they delivered a rousing rendition of Madonna's Living Like a Prayer. And then Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige took the stage to kickstart the presentation. I believe they had a thank you from Ryan Reynolds or something like that. And it was, a cool way to start it. Then they had a segment about Captain America Brave New World. They had a new teaser there. They spoke a little bit about Sidewinder, which is Giancarlo Esposito's Esposito. I always screw up his name. His character with the Serpent Society. And they had
Which I think is pretty cool, honestly.
They had some new footage, which, while we're talking about Brave New World right now, I wanted to get your thoughts. What did you I mean, it's out there. Like, it's I contemplated showing it, but like it's to the masses. People have seen it at this point. It's all over social media. What'd you think of the Red Hulk design that we actually got the semi-official reveal?
I don't mind it.
I don't mind it either.
I think Disney is consistently, I'm gonna say this, stuck in the, what's it called? The COVID dome, I suppose. The CGI dome. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think the CGI within that dome is very lacking. And I think that's due to technology, or even, for the matter of fact, negligence.
Right.
But I would say in regards to CGI, the CGI has been consistently lacking for Disney or at least for Marvel, for that matter.
Do you think it's lacking in this case?
I think that when it comes to CGI nowadays, I like the design. Don't get me wrong. I do like it, but I do think that it looks wonky and tacky when opposed to the rest of the real world. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which has me concerned with like plenty of projects that are out there that are quote unquote CGI heavy and live action.
Yeah.
But I mean, the design is pretty cool though.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. If Brave New World has the vibe of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where it's this grounded, Earth-based, not anything crazy, like just tell a good, government-y, like scandalous kind of story. Like I think they handled that very well in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'm excited to in a world where for whatever reason they're not using one of the biggest comic book characters of all time in the Hulk very much, at least we're getting some form of a Savage Hulk in the Red Hulk. Like I want to
I mean, this Hulk is
so badly.
Red Hulk is pretty dope.
He is. I so badly I want to see Bruce Banner's Hulk going wild again. Like, I'm sick of the Professor Hulk thing. It was fun for Endgame. It made sense for Endgame. It was kind of fun in She-Hulk. Now I'm like, okay, make him like crazy again, you know? I would love to see Hulk and Red Hulk rematch, you know what I mean? Everybody thought there was going to be some baller rematch between the Hulk and the Abomination in She-Hulk. Didn't happen. Like, it just
that was kind of sad, honestly.
I know. Like, I was disappointed in that. It, like, wasted opportunity, in my opinion. So
yeah, and honestly, like, it's kind of scary to see how Hulk's storyline is being unfolded right now. Because, I mean, how can I say this? The last time we saw Hulk was literally a straight up Maury episode where he said, "Guys, this is my kid, Scar."
Yeah, where did I want to erase that from my memory. Like,
yeah,
I
hope is what they're gonna do.
I hope they retcon that beyond belief, because that
personally
just killed my soul. I was like, dude,
personally,
what are you?
I
why?
know that storyline Scar and Planet Hulk all sounds interesting.
No, it doesn't.
But it's I personally
no, I'm a big Hulk fan, man, but no, it doesn't.
Yeah, I personally don't give a flying fuck about Scar. Like, I could care less about him as a character right now. We have a live action Hulk. We have a living Hulk. Like, I don't care about Scar and him being and Hulk and Bruce being a better father towards Scar. I could care less.
In my head, I'm just like, you've barely scratched the surface. Like, you're going to bring Scar into the fold when you have literally barely scratched the surface of what Bruce Banner's Hulk is. Like, I like Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. Like, I think he's a good blend between the two of them. Like, you know, in the same way that I like Tobey Maguire as a perfect blend between Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I think Mark Ruffalo is a good blend between the Hulk. Granted, I know the Hulk is largely CGI and he's doing motion capture, but you know, like, I like that balance between the two, and I just feel like we've barely scratched the surface of what he could be. I mean, in Age of Ultron, I loved that whole Hulk storyline when he just goes off after Wanda screws with his head and like annihilates that building and stuff, and there's the fight with the Hulkbuster. Like, that's the kind of stuff I want to see, because you can still have him where he's like in his right mind, where he's doing the team ups with the Avengers and things like that, but like, I want more Savage Hulk stuff, and I feel like we're really missing that in the MCU. So hopefully, here's my hope. My hope is that the fact we're doing the General Ross thing or the President Ross thing and the Red Hulk stuff, like, I'm hoping this will transition us into a World War Hulk scenario. World War Hulk has been rumored to be in development for a long time, and there's some open spots on the slate for it. Like, if they really wanted to.
I may not be a Hulk fan, but I really don't recall Hulk's family being there. So I don't know if Scar has anything to do with.
Yeah, I hope they retcon that, because I don't. If you want to if you want to do the cousin thing with She-Hulk, okay, fine, I can handle She-Hulk, but Scar randomly being in it, like, no. I was not a fan.
Okay, so I guess so. In the MCU adaptation of World War Hulk, Scar is accidentally killed by the Thunderbolts and is out of control. Thor goes hunting for the team. Sure.
Let's go with that. Next at SDCC, they had a sneak peek for Thunderbolts. An unconventional group of Marvel misfits took the stage. Feige and Delaney welcomed Thunderbolts director Jake Schroeder, along with wow, I'm not even going to try to say that name. Geraldine, Viswanthan, is that how you say it? Lewis Pullman, Hannah John Kamen, Wyatt Russell, Julie Louis-Dreyfus, Florence Pugh, Sebastian Stan, and David Harbour.
Honestly, I think that if they were, sorry, go ahead. I'll say it.
You're good.
I was gonna say, if I was gonna think of like a foil to Samuel Jackson Nick Fury, I think Julie Louis-Dreyfus
Oh yeah,
is a pretty good foil. I'm not gonna lie.
I would agree with that as well.
Hmm.
They've described the film as an irreverent team-up movie following an unlikely group as they unite to face a new threat. Feige also pointed out the asterisk in the film's official title, but when asked to explain what it meant, the producer teased, "You have to see the movie." So yeah, I don't know what the asterisk could mean. That's
For what?
there's an asterisk at the end of the
Oh,
title, like in the
oh.
official logo, and they
I thought I read somewhere that like the movie is supposed to be the name came from a soccer team that Elena was in when she was a child, and that's how she like quote unquote like named the team. So it's not
maybe I don't know.
necessarily not necessarily a thing that they like officially canonically call themselves, but it's just something that they mention. So could be wrong.
Maybe. I've heard a lot of really good things about this movie. If you dig on it, I think this is going to be kind of a surprise, actually.
I think so too. I think it'll be a fun ride to go through.
Yeah. Lots of good things talked about with Florence Pugh in this movie, that she really carries the movie and delivers
She
like a
should, honestly, to be
really
honest.
solid performance in it, which I think will be pretty cool. Obviously, the ending of the ending of Black Widow kind of set that up. Hawkeye kind of set this up. And then, of course, with Wyatt Russell's character in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So this will be kind of a cool Suicide Squad-esque type thing, and I'm pretty hyped for it. I think it'll be a
Honestly,
fun one.
who's the director? Who's the producer?
Jake Schreiner is the director.
Let's see.
I don't know what else he's done.
That's where I really pick my movies.
With the director.
Paper Towns and the Robot Frank. Which I'll say this right now. The Robot and Frank is really underrated. You guys need to check that out.
I have never seen that.
It's pretty good.
Don't even know what that is.
About a cat burglar who's retired, and they all think he's going senile, so they give him a robot to take care of this thing, like a robot butler. But what he ends up doing is programming the robot to be a cat burglar like him.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty good.
Here's where we get to the big two, in my opinion. So we got the official title of the Fantastic Four First Steps with the logo for the film. I don't know what First Steps is referring to. That's kind of stumped me a little bit. It seems like an odd, like, just call it the Fantastic Four. Why does it need a subtitle to it? You know, I'm kind of hoping they'll take the subtitle away and just call it the Fantastic Four, because it seems odd to me that it's called First Steps. I don't fully understand that. But the official description on Marvel.com says the upcoming Fantastic Four movie will begin filming next week, which it's already began filming now. They've showed a preview with the cast at D23 on Friday. But Marvel's first family made a pit stop at Comic-Con. Director Matt Shakman was joined by stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ian Moss-Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn as they shared new details about the film's futuristic 1960s-inspired setting. They also revealed the film's official title, The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Then Marvel sent the group's iconic Fantastic car soaring over the crowd, accompanied by music from composer Michael Giacchino. Yeah, they also played the score for the film, which was pretty cool, like the official theme for Fantastic Four, which is being done by Michael Giacchino. We got some official concept art, so there's some official art for the suits and things like that.
Pull up Beast and fucking the Marvels and tell me that doesn't look vaguely similar.
It does look very similar. It does.
Yeah.
And then there's the suit in an official capacity with Joseph Quinn wearing it. This is from the D23 video that they sent in from the set. Now, I know it's supposed to be kind of like futuristic and 60s-esque looking. This is from D23.
It's very Jetson vague.
Yeah.
I'm cool with.
Yeah, it's got a very Jetsons, It's the Jetsons, but you know. But yeah, I'm the more I see, I'm gonna be real. Pedro Pascal kind of threw me for a loop. I love him, but seeing him as Reed Richards, I was like, really? I don't know if I can see that. Seeing him in the suit with the gray in his hair, I'm like, okay, I can see that. I get it. I'm here
Hmm.
for it. You know, I think it's a good cast. I'm stoked for it. I'm a little thrown off that Galactus is going to be the main villain. They showed a little bit of footage from it, like test footage. Here was the image of Galactus looking into a skyscraper. Dude is massive. Like comic book accurate massive.
Well, he's obviously going to be within decent size within a world, I would say. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
very kaiju size, but not
Yes.
world eating size, which
It's not a geostorm or
I
something
mean,
stupid like
I mean,
that.
fucking shit. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right.
The Silver Surfer riding
Fucking
through a meteor
stupid.
shower in space, and he's like
Yeah.
trying to fight it. Like, what are you doing, man? He kneels down on the board. I will no longer serve.
I mean, let's be honest. That's probably the best comic accurate adaptation of the Silver Surfer,
Oh
but it
yeah,
was
it
just
was a great.
executed
I actually
horrifically.
listen for what it's worth. Those two Fantastic Four, those Fox Fantastic Four movies were pretty legit. Like they really were.
Yeah.
I know the Galactus thing was kind of stupid. Like the way they tied it in with Doctor Doom was kind of cool, but it, you know, but those movies were fun, like 100%. I don't know how this is going to tie in with the MCU and with the Sacred Timeline. Um, is are they in this universe? Are they? I don't think they're in the Sacred Timeline because that wouldn't make sense to me to have them in there. Like I feel like they're in their own universe and their own timeline, and somehow something will happen at the end of this film where they end up in a different timeline, or they kind of figure out the multiverse thing, or something like that happens.
Hmm.
Because I don't fully understand how, if they were a part of the sacred timeline that we know as the MCU, why have we never heard about them? Why have we never heard about Reed Richards or Ben Grimm or like that kind of thing? Logistically, I don't understand how this movie fits into the MCU. And I know we
Well,
won't until it comes out, but it's
let
fun
me
to
see.
speculate.
What is the name of the company that uh, Monica Rambeau was in? Because the company
Um,
that she was a part of is the same company that the Fantastic Four is in.
yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe I do kind of remember that. She founded Sword.
Sword. That's what it is. I think that's what it is.
I don't know if I don't think so.
I think so. Yeah, I could be wrong.
I don't think so. I'm having a major comic book people are like, they don't know what
Let me get the fuck over it.
they don't know what they're talking about. They're not real comic book fans. Blah blah blah
The
blah.
Fantastic Four will be Sword agents.
Um, let's see. I forget what. I feel like he had a company, or he was a part of a company. Like that was what was in the Baxter Building, right?
Mm. No, I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'd have to go back and like relook at that because I really don't remember.
Either way, I think that there are like Easter eggs in regards to the main
Maybe.
continuity, but
Yeah.
I mean, we
I
we
do
it's
seemingly remember that now that you say that.
yeah.
I was just thinking today, I need to go back and rewatch WandaVision. I need to go back and watch a lot of this saga because COVID, and I remember kind of glossing through some of it and like just not really like there was a lot going on. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and rewatch some of that stuff. But Fantastic Four definitely looks interesting. I don't. I have lots of questions about how it's going to fit into the greater Marvel universe, why it's set in the 1960s, how Galactus is going to randomly, we're just going to throw Galactus in there. Like, I would assume Galactus is a big enough villain that he could be his own big bad at the end of a saga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
Which I'm
I
kind
hope
of
we
thrown
don't.
off that they made him the first villain.
Yeah,
Which, all in all, I hope it's like, I hope they don't treat it like a fucking Quantum Mania where
dust
like
cloud in space.
where like they one off him in the
Yeah,
show and it's like not a big deal, is not a major villain. Like I hope Galactus eats their world. I'm not gonna lie.
really.
Yeah, because
Wow.
otherwise
How
how
dark of you.
deadly, yeah, how deadly is is Galactus. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like he's supposed to be a
Yeah.
major foe, like, you know, universe ending. For him to be, defeated one off in one fucking movie, it's like, okay, no,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. I
So
definitely see what you're saying.
yeah.
The
Otherwise you're just gonna
biggest.
get Jonathan Major vibes. Again,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
we don't want that.
The biggest thing to come out of the Marvel SDCC panel was the fact that everybody's favorite dude, RDJ, is officially returning um, to the MCU, but not to play Tony Stark that we know of, to play Victor Von Doom. And the thing that intrigues me about this is a huge announcement for many reasons. A, we got the announcement that the Russo brothers are returning to direct both Avengers Doomsday, which has been reimagined from the Kang Dynasty. It's no longer Avengers the Kang Dynasty, now it's Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars in 2026 and 2027. I could see both of those getting pushed back even further. Um,
Why? There's no writer strike.
well, just storyline wise, like I don't know, but the Russo brothers will be returning to direct both of those films with Robert Downey Jr. returning. On Marvel.com, as one final surprise, Feige welcomed directors Anthony and Joe Russo to the stage, announcing that the brothers will direct back-to-back Avengers films. Avengers Doomsday in May 2026 and Avengers Secret Wars in May 2027. The Russo brothers opened up about their lifelong love of the Secret Wars storyline from the comics, and they said that although they expected Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame to be their final Marvel films, they jumped at the chance to bring Secret Wars to the screen. And as one final surprise, the Russos revealed that a familiar face will return to play Victor Von Doom as a group of green-cloaked figures walked on stage in Doom masks. One of them stepped forward to reveal himself as Iron Man actor Robert Downey Jr. Of course, he said, "New mask, same task," and the crowd went friggin' ballistic, man. He said, "What can I tell you? I like playing complicated characters." Like, this is a big one because it's official that he's playing Victor Von Doom, and the thing that intrigues me about this is, we've got the is it Superior Iron Man? I thought I pulled the image up here. There's whatever comic book arc that this is from. It's Infamous Iron Man. That's what it is. Let me pull it up here. Yes, Infamous Iron Man. I pulled that image from Twitter. Somebody on Twitter said, "I'm crying. Feige took one look at this cover and said, Eureka." But yeah, Infamous Iron Man. So, like, my initial thought when they announced this is, oh, okay, he's a Tony Stark variant that becomes Doctor Doom. But they were very specific in saying that he is playing Victor Von Doom. So, he's not necessarily a Tony Stark variant. He is Victor Von Doom. Which I have mixed feelings about this entire thing. Part of me is jumping for joy and thinks that this is just the best thing since sliced bread. And part of me is like, it feels cheap, like they knew they needed to bring people back in and get them excited again. but it also feels kind of ballsy and kind of rad at the same time. Like they're actually kind of growing some balls to do something crazy. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about it. I love RDJ. I think he'll kill it. I mean, he'll be great, but yeah, I don't. I have mixed feelings about the whole RDJ thing. What do you think?
I don't
You
want to
weren't
ruffle any
you
feathers.
weren't thrilled about it when I
No,
first texted you.
I don't know. Well, because like I personally, you know, I love Robert Downey Jr. I think he is a very like well deserved actor. He deserves the recognition that he got. But I don't know. I think I remember us having a conversation a while back about like talks of him coming back for like I don't know AI come back as an AI thing as Friday or Jarvis
Yeah,
was for what's your fucking name? I forgot.
for
But
for
Ironheart.
for Pepper, or for Peter, or Ironheart,
Yeah.
or whatever.
But and we were cool with that. But then like I was thrown for a loop whenever they said that he was going to play the Victor Von Doom,
Yeah,
which I personally like. Okay, like if you really want to like bicker and batter, people will say like, "Oh, he's like this isn't the Victor Von Doom they want," and then people will be like, "Well, I mean, like in the comics, that's how it's been done before." But like, let's be honest, like the way we've been doing like these origins with the actor with the villains and stuff like that, like is this how we want Victor Von Doom to come out? You know, is this
yeah.
how we want uh one of the most complicated and interesting and
One of
consistent villain
the
of the
most
Marvel universe?
influential villains of all
Yeah,
of Marvel comics. Like,
and for it to be just for it to be played by Rob Downey Jr. in order to appease a multiverse situation.
yeah,
No, I'm not a fan of that. Um, Infamous Iron Man. You talking about a story that came out like after Civil War II? So we're just gonna have Infamous Iron Man before we have a Civil War II? No, like, that's also after Secret Wars, like after they like restarted the
yeah.
universe. Or are we gonna do some fucking bullshit story where Doctor Doom switches the mind of Tony Stark and then Tony becomes Doctor Doom and Doctor Doom becomes Tony? That sounds fucking stupid because why have that when you can have a normal fucking
Doctor Doom. Yeah,
origin studio
I
or origin? Like again, why are we trying to make it more complex than it needs to
right.
be?
I have a
Again,
couple of fears with this. I Here's what I like about it. Let me start there. I like that it's kind of ballsy. Like it's a pretty ballsy move to do this. It really is. Um I like it for that reason. But here's my biggest fear. These two films, I mean, people have been talking about Secret Wars since before Endgame happened. Because as soon as we knew that this was building to Avengers Endgame, everybody was like, "Oh, well, how are they going to top that? What are the only way to top Endgame is to do Secret Wars." So it was announced, and it was like, "Cool, man." And then we knew that Kang was the big bad, and it was like, "But how do you do Secret Wars without Doctor Doom?" So then that kind of started the whole, "Oh, they could cast Cillian Murphy as Doctor Doom, or they could cast this person as Doctor Doom, or this
like
person,
I
or
could think
whatever."
of plenty of people that could have
Like,
been a
right?
better
That would make a really killer
that could
Victor
have
Von
been a
Doom.
Doctor Doom, not a
Yes,
better. I'm not saying Rob Downey Jr. isn't going to do a great job.
right.
Just saying
Their
the
own iteration of
direction.
the
Yeah,
character, yeah, where they can make it their own. They can do what Robert Downey Jr. did with Tony Stark and make it their own, iconic version of that character. Um, so I like that it's kind of ballsy, but my fear is that is if Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars are the only two movies that we get Doctor Doom in, that cheapens him. And he's a very iconic character to just
voice noting. Yeah,
throw away. You know what I mean? To
yeah.
waste. Like I don't want that character wasted.
Hmm.
Wasted GTA
Hmm.
style. Like I don't want that.
The same way,
Um
and I hate to say this, like for people, I don't want people in the comments to be like, "Oh, you're just too concerned with how they're gonna do it. Like you don't believe in Disney's visions." It's like, okay, look at Ultron. Look how they treated him
yeah.
like a consistent major villain that has absolutely defeated the Avengers more than
Right.
once, and he was chalked up to a one crack joke, and sequel of the Avengers.
Like I
What do you want me
personally,
to feel about that? Moving on
right?
with other villains, like
You
we
know,
know the trope. We know the trope of these Marvel villains. They are
right?
one-off villains. They either die or get arrested, or they just don't come back. The only people that are evidence to the fact is organizations such as Hydra or even
Yeah,
Loki. Or but then he had his own story, which was well written. So
right. He I don't want them to rush it. Like I don't want this to be the only, like, Thanos. I mean, Thanos was a pretty key character in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. It showed him
mhm.
a lot. Like he played a role in it. There we felt the essence of Thanos all the way through the Infinity Saga. Not in every movie, not in every project, but we still felt him there. We felt that we were moving towards that. If we would have had some Doctor Doom peppered throughout the multiverse saga, okay, cool. You have time to build him up into Doomsday and Secret Wars. But if we're going to try and shove all of Victor Von Doom's story into 2 movies, that it's I don't think it's going to work personally. I just
Mhm.
don't. Um and especially if you're trying to do the infamous Iron Man thing with the switcheroo with him and Tony Stark, like I don't know. I'm not saying it can't work, but I'm also not 100% convinced yet. So, I don't know who made this I don't want to take anybody's stuff. This is some concept art I've seen online that I wanted to share. How do you feel about these types of designs
No, hate it.
for really
Yeah, let's
for Doctor
no, hate
Doom?
it.
Like if it really is kind of an Iron Man style version of the character.
No, hate it.
So you're not
No,
about
hate
it
it.
at all. You don't like it.
No, hate it. Fucking
Really.
stupid. Why? Why is it got to be about infamous Iron Man though? It doesn't have to be. It
It
doesn't
doesn't
need to
have
be.
to be.
It doesn't
It
need to be a part of
because
anything.
you're making it more about Iron Man than you are about Doctor Doom at that point.
Essentially. And I think one thing that I loved about
This is okay. That's not really an Iron Man thing. That's
oh my
just
god,
that looks
this
straight
is
Doom.
just Secret War. It's just Robert Downey Jr. looks cool in a trench coat. I mean, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's fucking fine. But
It's just Robert Downey Jr. looking cool in a trench coat. That's it.
I think that was something that I mentioned prior with Spider-Man in regards to No Way Home, Homecoming, and all this other stuff. Like I think I enjoyed the fact that when Peter Parker lost his identity with everyone in the world, it really solidified him as his own character as opposed to just being a spawn of Iron Man and all of his other like gadgets, which we've seen consistently in the Spider-Man films that every single person that Peter Parker has faced off against is a effect of Iron Man and his tech. And as cool as that may have been for like maybe one or two movies, I think the effects of Iron Man can't continue. I'm not gonna lie. Like I think that I call it the RDJ like effect, or like he just affects everything that has to do with Marvel. And I think we all can agree that we saw that with Spider-Man, where like everything that had to do with Peter Parker and him being Spider-Man had some type of connection with Iron Man, because Robert Downey Jr. is just he did such a fantastic job as Iron Man. Which again, I'm not degrading that by any stretch of the means, but I want there to be more stories as opposed to Iron Man.
Yeah.
You can't just piggyback off Robert Downey Jr.'s forever. He is old.
Right.
He is going to die. What are
Oh
you
my
gonna
god.
do?
Oh.
I'm just saying, like his legacy, you're just gonna continue to water it down more and more to the point where it
Yeah.
becomes cheaper to the point where his presence may be like cool, but it's not going to be as impactful as it was to his ultimate sacrifice
Yeah.
in Infinity War. So yes, that looks fucking cool, sure. But if I see that he builds his fucking armor off of Stark Tech, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit. It is not needed. Who is he?
Yeah.
Vulture? Who is he? A Shocker? Who is he? Fucking Mysterio? Like, I
Yeah.
don't care
Yeah.
for people to just keep
They
piggybacking
did the
off
Stark
of
Tech thing with Mysterio.
exactly.
All
So
of his
like,
stuff was Stark Tech.
it's just to the point where I'm saying that like there's so many other like companies and universes and tech that goes beyond what Tony Stark initially does. Like
Right.
they reduced Hammer Industries to be a Save-A-Lot version of Stark Industries, which in reality kind of, but like not really. He's a
Yeah.
formidable opponent. He
Right.
is a rival of Stark Industries.
Hmm.
The same goes for plenty of other plenty other companies that are out there that rival Stark Industries.
Yeah.
But it seems like everyone is just piggybacking off of him. And I know that came from Iron Man, the first film, whenever people were he was worried about people stealing his tech. But you can't ride that fucking coattail forever for like, oh god, my tech is being stolen again. Like, which makes me all the more concerned with Armor Wars. Whereas it's just going to be another thing of like
Dog,
people stealing
I don't know if
armor
Armor
tech.
Wars is happening.
I don't know either.
They have gone. That is radio silence about that
Yeah,
series. I don't know if Armor Wars is going to be a thing anymore.
yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
but
But
yeah,
I hope
I
you
agree
understand what
with
I'm
you.
coming from,
I
honestly.
do, and I agree with what you said a little bit ago about like I again I'm not opposed to it. I'm not arguing against it. I'm just expressing some of the concerns I have with it from a storytelling perspective.
If
Doctor
Robert
Doom
Downey
is a
Jr. wants to be Doctor Doom, by all means, be him, play him,
yeah.
fucking kill it, perform him the best you can. But if I see a fucking arc reactor on his chest
Yeah.
or anything Stark Industries on his armor, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. It's as simple as that. It's
Like I was gonna
not
get up and walk
necessary.
out. No, I'm kidding.
It's not necessary to ride his fucking coattails like that.
Yeah, here's you're gonna get pissed at one of the theories and the rumors going around right now. Then,
I'm sure I will,
um,
honestly.
I here's the thing. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. They did Tony Stark and his sacrifice so well in Endgame and throughout the Infinity Saga. I don't want them to cheapen that. And I also don't want them to cheapen Doctor Doom because Doctor Doom is such an important, vital character with so much story linked to him that I don't want them to cheapen Doctor Doom's character just for the sake of it being tying it to Iron Man and to Tony Stark and to Robert Downey Jr. Like, we don't need to do that. If they do this type of thing where it looks like him, but it's still a completely different character, and you have that moment where Tom Holland's Peter Parker has to look at him and he's
Mm-hmm.
fighting someone who looks like the person that he loved so much, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
actually him. That could be pretty cool. Like, I mean, real, that could be a pretty cool storyline. But I don't want it to be just a variant of Tony that becomes Doctor Doom and it's just like it's too on the nose, it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like, imagine this. Again, you have the situation where Peter Parker is fighting Doctor Doom, kicks the mask off him, and he sees RDJ.
is
Like,
this Scooby Doo? Like it's
holy shit! Like, that's pretty big. But you also got to
yeah.
remember the last time they met was Infinity War, where he finally finds Peter Parker survived, and they had a big embrace, and then Peter had his like goodbye to Tony.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then the next time they're gonna meet is gonna be is just gonna be out of another fucking major event.
They rip off the Doctor Doom mask or whatever, and you have the Hulk and Thor and Doctor Strange and Peter Parker and everybody. They're all there. They're like, Tony Stark from the Infinity Saga. It's just like the whole Scooby Doo thing. I don't know, man. I'm not counting it out, but I'm also not. I'm not completely sold yet. Now, I wanted to take a minute and dive into some of the rumors and things that are going around. Now, again, I this stuff is fun to talk about. It really is. But also, anytime we're talking about a scooper thing or leaks or rumors. Like, this could be complete nonsense, complete BS. Take it with a grain of salt. Like, we're taking it with a huge grain of salt because we have no idea what they're going to do with this. This is all purely speculatory. But for the sake of the conversation of what this could mean, here are some of the rumors going around about Doomsday and Secret Wars. So if you're on Twitter, if you're into the scooper thing and you're into looking at that stuff, My Time to Shine Hello is obviously it's an anonymous account on Twitter who posts quite a bit about Marvel leaks and rumors and things like that. I'm not going to speak to the track record or anything like that because I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I used to be really into the scoops thing, the scooper thing when everybody remembers the whole No Way Home thing. That was like everybody and their mom was suddenly a scooper and had some inside source in Disney that knew about Toby
days.
and Andrew, and it was just like, dude, stop.
Those
Like,
guys
it's too much. Just stop. So I try to take this stuff.
Their platform, so.
Yeah, I try to stay a couple yards away from this stuff, but it is fun to talk about and fun to kind of dive into. So, according to My Time to Shine Hello, this is Doctor Doom's plan in Avengers Doomsday. Doom isn't truly evil. That's strike one for me. He believes he's saving the multiverse from incursions. According to his twisted logic, the only way for the multiverse to survive is to unify all of the universes in one place, Battleworld, under his rule. He sees this as the sole path to ensuring survival for everyone. What do you think?
Say it again.
This would be another Thanos sympathetic villain. He thinks he's doing the right thing even though he's doing something awful. So essentially, Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom, is not truly evil. He believes that he's saving the multiverse from incursions. So essentially, let's break this down. Universes are, as we saw at the end of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, incursions are happening. Universes are slowly dying and the universes are collapsing in on themselves. And according to Doctor Doom's twisted logic, the only way for the multiverse to survive, he's trying to save the multiverse, is to unify all of the universes in Battleworld under his rule. So he's trying to rule over the multiverse because he thinks that he's the only one that can save it. So he sees this is the sole path to save every universe, not just his own.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things going around, which it's interesting. There are a lot of and it makes sense. I'm sure it will. There's a lot of rumors circulating that Battleworld is going to be a huge part of this whole thing.
Well, yeah, it's the reboot of the universe.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta understand, like, the end, it was Ultimate Universe and Earth 616, like, battling for its right to survive.
Right.
And then the event unfolded and it collided, and boom, Doctor Doom created Battleworld. And within Battleworld, they tried to fix the universe into one singular one where everyone coexisted in some degree, like different stories, different timelines, different origins. Like, that's pretty much what happened. Is that what you're saying is going to happen in Secret Wars? That is the most recent one. I don't remember how the old one was. I don't remember what the original Secret Wars unfolded. I have to look that up.
Maybe we can do an episode on this. We'll dig deep into what all of this could mean. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, with the second reiteration of Secret Wars, that's pretty much how it unfolded. Doctor Doom was King Doom, and you had a lot of people that you wouldn't think now would be there in the MCU, but are there. And then lots of things unfold, and the universe gets resetted, and pretty much that's what happens. So, is that what you're saying? Because if that's the case, I want to see an Illuminati movie before we have Secret Wars.
Yeah.
If that's the case, Illuminati has just much more weight than Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What I don't like about this concept, and again, this could be complete nonsense. We don't know, but it's fun to talk about it. what I don't like about this concept is the fact that Doom isn't truly evil. Like, Doom is evil. Like, he is. I don't think Doctor Doom is a sympathetic villain. Like, Thanos truly... Like, I think Thanos really thought that he was trying to do the right thing. I don't think Doom wants that. Like, I think it would be more effective if Doom was just somebody who was trying to play God and he thought, I want control of this. I think I can be in charge of every universe. And I like that would be more effective to me than just being like, oh, I'm trying to save the universe. Like, I don't want to sympathize with him. He's not a villain that I want to sympathize with. He's not.
Who?
Doom.
Man.
And I'm worried, especially that it's Robert Downey Jr. I'm concerned that they're gonna try and make you feel bad for him, or like I don't want that. That doesn't make sense to me. This is another rumor about Battleworld. According to Daniel RPK, who is again another very influential scooper in the game, he says that everything that comes out between Avengers 5 and 6 that isn't a prequel will be set on Battleworld. So that means that there will be multiple projects set on Battleworld. So Doomsday comes out May 1st, 2026. Secret Wars comes out May 27th, 2027. If we go, let me see. On the official schedule, Vision Quest, which is kind of the white Vision thing, or gray Vision, whatever people are calling him, that comes out between Doomsday and Secret Wars. But I don't know if they'll add anything else to the slate. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I mean, that would be interesting if multiple projects took place on Battleworld, because that would imply that Doctor Doom is around more. Like, we would get to see more of him. You know what I mean?
TV releases?
Huh?
What are we looking at? Disney TV releases?
Disney releases? Disney Plus shows? I have no idea.
Yeah.
That officially right now, that White Vision show, Vision Quest, is, which we know nothing about. I don't even know if that's been officially announced yet. But that's the only thing slated. According to this IMDb thing. It's the only thing slated.
Doomsday and...
Yes. Like, if I pull this up, let me... yeah, so if you look at this slate... that went away. The only thing slated is that Vision Quest. You've got Agatha All Along, which is this year. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is that animated show. It used to be called Spider-Man Freshman Year. The Eyes of Wakanda series, Captain America Brave New World, Daredevil Born Again, The Thunderbolts. We're up to 2025. Fantastic Four First Steps. This is next summer. Blade, which is next fall. Ironheart, which is next. Yeah. We don't know about Ironheart. And then Ironheart could technically be if they wanted to switch that around, depending on when Ironheart comes out, that could be a Battleworld thing. So really,
God, no, dude. Have you not seen the trailer for it?
No, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with Battleworld.
Okay, then never mind. It's not a Battleworld thing. So yeah, Vision Quest is technically the only thing that's in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, and we know nothing about it. So, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to look like or mean. I don't know. But that would be interesting. Now, here's some more tidbits about Secret Wars, things that have kind of been in the rumor mill. This isn't necessarily from any one specific leaker, scooper, whatever you want to call it, but Secret Wars filming will last at least a year. Hugh Jackman will return and have a new suit as Wolverine. Tobey Maguire will star in the absolute majority of the movie, that he's already signed the contract to return. Secret Wars is expected to be split into 2 parts, reaching the end of the multiverse saga until 2028, which would also celebrate the 20th anniversary of Marvel Studios. Secret Wars Part 2 may have another title. A lot of talk about it will be Avengers Forever. I could see them splitting up Secret Wars into 2 movies. And I'm going to be real. At first, I read Avengers Forever and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of dumb, cheesy. But the more and more I like it, I like it. I could see Avengers Forever being a pretty legit title.
Yeah.
I kind of dig it. So, obviously, the big takeaways from those rumors are Battleworld, Doom being kind of a sympathetic villain, trying to pull the multiverses together. And then, it's pretty obvious at this point, after seeing the way that they ended Spider-Man No Way Home, the way that they ended Deadpool and Wolverine, like, I assume we will see Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman and Andrew Garfield, and, you know, I assume we're going to see them back in Avengers Secret Wars. But, you know, there's a lot of rules, or a lot of rumors, excuse me. You know, let's see. There's a whole interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, so some part of me thinks that this isn't going to be the second iteration of Secret Wars. I don't think it's going to be the whole point of like the Illuminati doing this stuff. And Victor Von Doom.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they could do the Illuminati. I don't know that it'll happen.
I don't think it's going to be the 2015 version of it. I think they're going to go with the 1984. Yeah.
Which, I mean, the Russo brothers talked about that being... It makes sense because they were so complimentary of that arc that they remember reading it when they were younger, and that's why they wanted to do it. This is interesting. This is a whole list of rumors on Marvel Wiki of a whole list of rumors that are circulating about Secret Wars, and it's a pretty big list, so buckle up your britches. The Beyonder will appear.
Yes. So it is going to be 1984.
Yeah. The Beyonder will appear. The Annihilation Wave will appear in the film. The Young Avengers, Winter Guard, and the Thunderbolts will appear. The Dark Avengers will appear. Namor will appear. Rosters include Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, She-Hulk, The Incredible Hulk, War Machine, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Shang-Chi, Yelena, Shuri, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man will both appear. Doctor Doom will appear. Norman Osborn, Otto Octavius, Dr. Kirk Connors, Flint Marko, Miles Morales, Kang the Conqueror.
In there too.
Rip. I doubt Kang the Conqueror will be in there. The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Wolverine and Deadpool will both be in the film. The Children of Thanos, that doesn't really make any sense. I don't know why they would bring Proxima Midnight and Ebony Maw. I don't think they'd bring those back. That doesn't make sense to me. Onslaught, Thanos will appear. Why would Thanos appear? unless it's a variant. I mean, I guess they could bring him back as a variant. Whatever. It's rumored that Natasha and Tony and Steve Rogers will all appear. I don't know about that. Rumored that Ultron will appear. Also rumored villains are Galactus, Ulysses Claw, Lady Deathstroke, Red Skull, Ronan the Accuser, Dormammu, and Eliath.
Damn, Dormammu, really? Fucking shit, dude.
Like, I don't know. It's also rumored that the TVA will be the minor villains of the film.
Really?
So much. Like, I don't... That's why I'm concerned that... That's why I'm concerned that they're not going to be able to give Doctor Doom the attention that character deserves, because that's so many characters.
Like, all that means is that they're going to fall to the wayside of Doctor Doom, because Doctor Doom is supposed to be like extremely powerful in both.
Let's be real. If we have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Jackson, huge. I'm losing my mind. If we have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man fighting alongside Hugh Jackman's Wolverine,
Mm-hmm.
people are going to lose their minds. Like, that's part of what people are going to want to see, especially those two, because they're the OGs, man. Like, people want to see that. People want to see Deadpool in the mix. Like, and I don't know how they're without splitting it into two movies. I don't understand how they're going to give Doctor Doom his day, how they're going to give the original like legacy characters their day, how they're going to give the current MCU characters like Doctor Strange and Shang-Chi and the Hulk and the current Spider-Man. Like, how are we going to give all of these characters their due and still, you know what I mean, still tell this huge multiversal story? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very intrigued. Plus, you have Daredevil and like the street level people. Like, I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know.
many questions regarding Secret Wars.
I know. And honestly, Secret Wars is probably the most convoluted story
It
of
really
all, especially since there's like, it's safe to say that the Russo brothers would want to go with the 1984 comic strip, but the way that our universe is set up, it makes just as much sense for the 2015 storyline to unfold too. And both the Beyonders, in plural, or Doom, or any of these other characters, like they all play like major pivotal roles in this film
honestly,
or in this story. Like
I
it.
kind of figured the Beyonder was coming at some point in the multiverse saga.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was in a
You know what's
post-credits
funny?
scene or something, I kind of figured the Beyonder would be in it at some point.
Yeah, which the Beyonder is like, he's like a, how do I say this? He's like a kid in a sandbox, if that makes sense. Like he just
Yeah.
does things to the universe and just treats them as if they're like toys and just plays around with them. Like if you look up the original 1984, 1984 85 like Secret Wars 1 and 2, it shows like the Beyonder like coming down to like human size and just wanting to like see what the world is like. So he like
Really.
comes down sporting like a white trench coat and like a perm because the 80s, and just fucking like chills around with everybody. And it's like some major event again because of the whole crossover. And I think that's where Spidey gets his black suit, which again,
That would be
that's
dope.
another big question for me. Who's gonna get that black suit?
Would you
Toby
want him to
already.
give it? Would you want him to give it to Tony or Toby again?
I wouldn't want to give it to Toby again.
Because you know they almost did that. They almost did that at the end of No Way Home. That was how they were going to save Tony. Was or say too many
Say
teenage.
Toby, they're gonna give
They
him
were going
black
to
suit.
save Toby after Norman Osborn stabbed him. Was that
Mm-hmm.
they were the Venom suit was going to cling to him and heal him, which would have been dope, but also
No, because that Toby Spider knew how bad it was, so he wouldn't want it. You know what I mean? He would want to
yeah,
sacrifice himself. He would want to pull a fucking Tony Stark.
yeah, yeah. So here's according to another leaker on the Multiverse Saga, I'm reading this one from my phone. Here is a rumored list of every character that will appear in Secret Wars. The Fantastic Four, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, all three Spider-Man, Deadpool, Doctor Strange and Clea, God Loki, Spider-Man, well, we already said that, Captain Carter, the original Fantastic Four, which is it's referring to the new one. It's referring to the 1964. The Watcher, the animated X-Men. I don't know why they would be in it. Elektra,
That's cool.
Monica Rambeau, Strange Supreme, Daredevil, Sylvie, Blade, the Avengers, which we don't know the specifics of who that new Avengers team would be. Adam Warlock, Thor, the Eternals, Nova, Rocket, Star-Lord, the Ravagers, Groot, Gamora, Drax, Mantis, Galaxus, Galactus, Nebula, the Silver Surfer. I don't know about that one. White Vision, Captain America, Sentry, Black Panther, Hulk and She-Hulk, the Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider. Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. War Machine, Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel, Red Hulk, the Scarlet Witch, Echo, Ant-Man the Wasp, Nick Fury, Valkyrie, America Chavez, Yelena, Ironheart, and Moon Knight. That seems loaded to also tell the Doctor Doom story too.
Yeah,
it does seem loaded,
does.
Corey. You're exactly right. So much. I can't fully wrap my head around. I can't wrap my head around all of it. It's so much. So, we need to take our own. We need to do a separate show and do the Secret Wars rumors and all of that stuff too.
Dude, that's a lot to take in.
It would be a lot to take just in different areas of your body, but let's real quick let's recap some of what happened at the D23 Marvel Studios panel, because it was a little bit more that happened there as well. Let me get this other article up. All the Marvel news from D23 2024. Marvel fans assembled in Anaheim for the D23 fan event. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to skip some of that stuff. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige took the stage during Friday's Disney Entertainment Showcase. Jeez, that's a mouthful. Where he teased some of the studio's most highly anticipated films and TV. First up, Deadpool and Wolverine star Ryan Reynolds crashed the event with a video message thanking Marvel fans for propelling the film to box office success. By the way, it hit $1 billion today. Killing the game, Ryan. Killing the game, my friend. Everybody wants Deadpool back. Then Feige was joined by Captain America Brave New World star Anthony Mackie, who shared the footage from the upcoming film and teased Sam Wilson's next adventure. They talked about they talked about we already kind of talked about this on the show, but they had a new trailer and they talked about kind of the meaning of the story for Sam Wilson's Captain America and things like that. We saw that Red Hulk footage from him transforming at the White House and things like that. Kind of some of the, other than the new footage, basically the same information we've already had about that film. They also gave fans a sneak peek at the filming of Fantastic Four: First Steps, starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and how do you say that guy's name?
I can't barely read it.
Is it Ebon Moss-Bachrach? Is that how you say it? Bachrach? I don't know how you say his name. It kills me every time I look at it, like it's a brain teaser. So they sent a video message from the set. Ryan Coogler joined Feige to talk Ironheart. Following Black Panther Wakanda Forever breakout Riri Williams as she faces a new threat. They talked about Ironheart. I did not watch the teaser for this. I know it leaked. I know it's online. I didn't watch it. That will be interesting because, as you said, reusing the whole stealing Tony Stark tech kind of thing. Like, I mean, what did you think of the teaser? You said you watched it.
I mean, it seems more grounded to earth. I mean, it's very much.
I'll have to check it out when we're done.
Yeah. No, I mean it's. Is it a series? It is a series, right?
Yes, it's a Disney Plus series.
Mm-hmm. I think it can hold some weight. I think it can.
Sweet.
I just hope it doesn't get the She-Hulk treatment right now that she's getting. So
yeah, I get that. So we had a sneak peek at Ironheart. This is a big one, big, that made people go just like buku wild in their seats when they brought out the cast of Daredevil Born Again. We also got the official logo. It's a dope logo. Really, really, really neat logo. They brought out the full cast: John Bernthal, Charlie Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, what's their names? Deborah Ann Wall and Eldrin Hansen, who play Foggy and Karen. I'm so happy they're bringing Foggy and Karen back because
I know they were thinking about not doing it.
They weren't going to. In the original draft of the series, they weren't going to bring them back, and I was like, but if it's a continuation of the Netflix series, what? Like, that doesn't make sense. They're like two, like the three of them were like, it's like in a
They're
Harry
such a
Potter
trio.
sequel.
Yeah.
It's like not bringing back Ron and Hermione in a Harry Potter sequel and just expecting it to feel normal. Like, they're the main characters too. Like, the three of them together are the main characters. It was like that in Daredevil. Like, it would be weird without the two of them there. So I'm super glad that they're gonna be back. But they actually played the teaser for Daredevil Born Again, and it even looked, interestingly enough, like we're getting a little bit of a team up between Kingpin and Daredevil, which I find just in all kinds of interesting.
Between Kingpin and Daredevil?
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, teaming up against someone else, which is awesome. It very interesting, but really cool. Um, and there was also there's some big rumors about the Punisher being wild in this series, which I love the Punisher. The Punisher is one of my favorite characters, I think, in all of Marvel.
I
Like,
think.
it's
And I think John Berthal is doing he's done a grand job on it.
he has. I'll tell you, I really like Tom Jane. I know he's the original, and it's, technically it's not the original because they had the old Punisher film, but I really
Yeah.
liked his Punisher film a lot. I thought it was cool. The one with John Travolta is the villain. It was a good movie. It was kind of
Well,
brutal.
you forget about the Punisher Warzone.
Warzone. I didn't like
Yeah.
that movie very much.
You didn't like it with Ray
It was
Stevenson?
it was okay. It wasn't. I like the Tom Jane version better. I did. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something about it that felt kind of visceral and raw. The Tom J or the Punisher Warzone film felt too. I'm trying to be a '70s action movie. Like, it. I don't know.
I don't know. He kind of he fit the I think Stevenson fit the cast for it. I just don't
It
think it was executed
it
properly.
was too. I don't know. It was very like superhero esque though, and I don't mean that like in it like he's a superhero. It was very like he had the whole room of like weapons, and it would like the Tom Jane Punisher was very like he's a dude that knows how to mess people up, and he just built all of this crap in his apartment. Like, it was very Home Alone esque, like just build it yourself. If you can dream it, you can do it, kind of thing. So, but I do think that John Bernthal's doing an incredible job as the Punisher, and I'm stoked to see him back again. The cast of the upcoming Disney Plus series Agatha All Along. I hope this makes me excited because right now I'm really not that excited for it. I mean, Agatha was cool, but I also wasn't like when they announced it. I was kind of like, okay, like there's other things that I could be more interested in. You know what I mean? But whatever, it'll be cool. They also had the music of Marvel. They debuted some of the music from Captain America: Brave New World and the Fantastic Four, things like that. They had the Disney Parks panel, which we talked, and then the Marvel Animation panel. They talked about What If season 2 or 3, whatever season it's on. The new season of X-Men 97, Eyes of Wakanda, and then Marvel Zombies and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which is pretty cool. So they're doing quite a bit on the animated side of things as well. They did say that Coleman Domingo is playing Norman Osborn, which is pretty
That's
dope.
cool. Yeah,
I
I like
like
his
that
voice though.
guy. He's a good
Yeah.
actor. I really like that guy quite a bit.
Yeah. He
So
plays complex well, which I think
he
Norman
does.
definitely is.
Do you remember him being Strand in Fear the
Yeah,
Walking Dead?
he still is.
That was a good, like, in the first season of that show, which I will stand by the fact. I think the first season of Fear the Walking Dead is one of the best things that franchise ever did. It's really good. But he plays kind of a mysterious, weird, like you don't know whether to trust him or not. He does that really well. This like weird, you're trying to feel him out and you can't kind of character, like real complicated. He does that very well. And Norman Osborn is kind of a complex character, so
Mm-hmm.
um, I think he'll play to that very well. But there it is, man. So much information, just a lot of information. I'm trying to find the best layout for this. Goodbye. A lot of information between SDCC and D23. The full Marvel Studios slate as of right now. Agatha All Along, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Eyes of Wakanda, Captain America Brave New World, and then Daredevil Born Again next year, Thunderbolts next year, The Fantastic Four First Steps next year, Blade next year, Ironheart next year, and then we're on to the end, man, of the multiverse saga, Avengers Doomsday, Vision Quest. We don't know what that is still, but Avengers Secret Wars, and then we have quite a few other things. We need to get Spider-Man 4 in there at some point. We need to get Shang-Chi in there at some point. Armor Wars, I really don't know if Armor Wars is happening because we haven't heard anything about that series in a hot minute.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but there's a lot of really cool things in the works at the studio. I think they're starting to find their footing with the multiverse saga. I hope they are. I genuinely hope that they're getting there. I think it's taken them a while to get the story straight.
I hope this one works. I mean, it's another shot in the dark, honestly, for me.
Yeah, I think they are. I mean, especially with the announcement, part of me feels like they were never 100% on board with the Kang thing, because it would have been strange to do Secret Wars without Doctor Doom, without that character being there. And I think part of me is kind of glad. I mean, it sucks because it would have been cool to see the Kang thing play out, but I think it would have been strange to not have Doctor Doom there, just because that character plays such a vital role. I mean, he's the villain of Secret Wars. So, but the decision to make RGA, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm screwing up everybody's names. RDJ, the actor for that role, the performer. I mean, there's a lot of interesting decisions going on with this studio, and with this saga, and it's going to be fun to kind of to speculate and to look into all this stuff. And remember, like we talked about, keep the rumors and stuff that we talked about on the show. Like, I take that with a grain of salt. That could be complete nonsense, But
no, I couldn't agree more. And honestly, by any stretch of means, like next week, they could just easily just go new plan.
Yeah, it's fun to talk about it nonetheless.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're on a path to greatness, and hopefully we're on the path of a more cohesive storyline. And Miguel can't wait to see this guy on the big screen exactly like this. Keep it exactly like that.
Yeah.
Costume and all. Actually, this is the one Miguel wants.
I'll literally puke, dude.
It's literally Green Iron Man in a cloak.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll literally puke.
Green Iron Man with a hood. So, guys, listen, thank you so much for joining us on this pretty big show. Let us know your comments. I don't know what I'm saying. It's late. It's a Sunday night. Let us know your thoughts on all of the SDCC and D23 reveals. What projects are you most excited for? What are your thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. returning to play Doctor Doom in the MCU, not playing Tony Stark? That we know of. I think that could still change, but I mean, what are your expectations for Secret Wars? What do you want to see? Please let us know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the Disney park stuff? Are you digging the stuff coming to Magic Kingdom? I sure am. I think that's going to be awesome. That villains thing has been on my mind for 24 hours. Like, I can't get it out of my head. It looks so cool. It looks really neat. So lots of things that to look forward to over the next 2 to 3 years. So you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at LTM Podcast KY. Be sure to join our Facebook group. It's up there in the right-hand corner. We love you guys. Thank you so much for joining us on this show, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace.